Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Wayne Lou. You are listening to the Raptors Reaction Podcast after the Raptors delivered a win on my birthday. Thank you, Raptors. This is what I wanted when I blew out my birthday cake. No, I'm kidding. I got bigger ambitions. But like Goran Dragic, shouts to Goran Dragic. I hope you're losing somewhere. But Raptors win 112-91 in Miami. The question to everybody is, can we play the Miami Heat every week, bro? This team sucks. Like, man, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, the Raptors obviously got themselves going again after the NBA Cup break with a win in Miami, and then a week later, after winning in Milwaukee, not in convincing fashion, and then losing in pretty depressing fashion to Boston, and then the Brooklyn Nets, which, by the way, Raptors only had 81 points. It still couldn't wrap my head around it. I legit had to take a break from the Raptors for 2 days. I'm like, no, I can't engage with trade rumors. I don't want to hear about no Nick Richards. I'm like, no, man. I mean, 81 points is nasty. Like, I feel like you got to be put on timeout if you have 81 points. And the Raptors needed a bounce back win. The Miami Heat needed a bounce back win. They did not get one today because they played terrible, just terrible across the board. But that's not what this show's about. This show's about the Toronto Raptors. And man, some really nice performances across the board from the Raptors. Might be one of the few episodes where we're just universally happy for the team, which I know has been it's been a trying season. We had like pure euphoria from the start of it with how often the Raptors are winning, and now we have the Raptors in a funk right now. And even when they have won, in some of those games, the last game against Miami, the Raptors needed some really good crunch time execution to sort of get through that one. And then even the Milwaukee win, where it was not very convincing. Obviously, Milwaukee without Giannis is pretty terrible as well. But the Raptors pulled through at the end there too. They needed this one. And quite frankly, I actually thought the Raptors played and delivered on multiple fronts. I mean, first off, the Raptors got off to a great start, which has not been happening. For the starting lineup, once again, no RJ, no Jakob Poeltl, for the umpteenth game. And so the Raptors had to start with their smaller group, Sandro Mamukelashvili and Ochai Agbaji filling in. And, man, I got to say, I mean, a lot of great performances in this one. I mean, Scottie was awesome. Just dominant, really. Like, Scottie was dominant. We'll get to Scottie in a second. And Collin Murray-Boyles, congratulations to the young rookie. Yes, we've been watching these Dairy Queen highlights, being like, damn, bro, like, we could have taken this. But at the same time, don't be ungrateful for what you have, because CMB comes in with a double-double defensive effort. I mean, just the offensive rebounding effort. I mean, I know I was crashing out when Luka Garza went for 9 offensive rebounds the other game from Boston's bench. Well, I mean, the Heat version of me, Miami me, must be in the Heat post game crashing out about the fact that Collin Murray-Boyles got 9 offensive rebounds of his own. I mean, he looked like the biggest man in the building at times. But honestly, before we even get to all that, man, I got to shout out Sandro Mamukelashvili, man. Sandro was so good throughout the entire game. Sandro was just everywhere. Really, like he was, especially at the start of the game when the Raptors again hopped off to a great start. I think they were up 16-3 before the Heat called timeout. So Spo tried to let his team play through it, but it I mean, under no circumstances do you have to let a 16-3 start happen like this. But Sandro during that stretch made so many good plays, man. Like Sandro, I just thought, I mean, he hit 3 threes in the first quarter. He was cutting to the basket. He was spacing off of Scottie and Brandon. Both guys were able to draw lots of attention. Brandon was also knocking down threes to start this game. Brandon kind of cooled off. Actually, a rare game for Brandon where he didn't have to play the fourth quarter at all, which is nice. The Raptors being up 20 the whole time really helped. And the second unit playing much better in the second half also really helped in that front. But no, CMB was just Sandro was just playing awesome basketball. Like, he hit the first 3 of the game. He got an offensive rebound, which directly led to Brandon getting an open corner 3. He knocked that down, had a strong take off the dribble. He missed a layup, but even with that miss, Ochai was right there with nobody around him for the putback. So I'm going to give, Sandro some credit because he did most of the hard work there. He posted up, drew a double team, kicked it out to Ochai in the corner for a 3. Like, Mamu was just doing everything. And Darko was loving it because, like, he had Mamu in basically for the entire first quarter. And some of that obviously is the fact that there's not a lot of bench bigs at the moment. But, man, I mean, it was also because Mamu was playing fantastic basketball. So congratulations to Mamu. I think he he can be up and down, but the ups are really high. Like today, you wouldn't even notice that the Raptors have missed their starting center. Like Sandro was so good tonight. I mean, he straight up outplayed Bam Adebayo, who's like a $50 million player. You know what I mean? So I just thought that like Sandro got the Raptors off to a strong start. Raptors overall were doing great. It didn't help that Miami's entire offense felt like, oh, where's Norman Powell? Can we just throw the ball to him to have him spam a three? Like that wasn't particularly strong offense, I thought. And especially because Norm, despite how hot he has been on the season, was like ice cold to start the game. So it was just Norm breaking a shot and the Raptors going the other way and moving the ball around, and it helped when the Raptors were able to knock down some threes to start the game. Now, granted, there were some issues that started cropping up once the Raptors hit the bench. This is not something that's new. I mean, this has sort of been what it's been for the last couple of weeks, and sometimes it's not the same patterns, but in this one I actually really thought that I really thought that the problems were very repeatable. I mean, first off, like they come in the game and the other team goes to a zone. I mean, Miami's liable to go to zone anyway. That's just kind of like their thing. But man, like watching the Raptors second unit try to work against a zone just doesn't really make sense. Then you saw these guys just rushing in, and I don't really understand like some of the decisions they make, like Grady like jacking up a transition three, like before anybody's there to rebound, like 4 seconds into the clock. It's like, yo, Raptors have been getting great offense the whole quarter. Why do you need to come in and jack a three, especially considering you're not hot from three right now? Like that's just not a good idea. And it wasn't even that open. It was just like a semi-open transition three. It's like, yo, you missed that. It's easily a rebound going the other way. And instead of you having the transition advantage, is the other team having the transition advantage. And of course, you had another play where after he missed that shot, next play down, the Raptors were able to get out and like on the break again. IQ decides to pull up for three instead of making the extra pass into the corner to Grady, who was actually more open in the corner. But I also understand IQ's process there. It's not like just he wants to jack the three. It's like, dog, this guy just came in and jacked the dumb three, so why am I going to make the extra pass to him? So stuff like that. And then it just started snowballing, man. That Scottie plus bench lineup just did not work. And honestly, that's nothing to do with Scottie, to be honest, because sometimes I'm like, what do you want him to do? At the fourth quarter, it was Scottie plus 4 guards out there. Like it was like Scottie with like Jamal, Grady, Jacoby, and like Ochai or like Jameson. One of the two of them were out there for that. It was just like, what do you want him to do with that? You know what I mean? But oh no, it was IQ actually was the fourth guard in that spot. But like, yeah, that bench lineup just came in, and a lot of it was just self-inflicted. Grady in particular, I thought was like the biggest culprit here. Certainly, Jacoby made some errors as well, and the two of those guys are in terms of just who makes misplays. Like I'm not even talking about what the box score number is. I'm just talking about like making the wrong read and forcing the wrong action, or like rushing in the wrong moment and playing the wrong tempo. Like whoever has the most like misplays, it's those two. Like if you were the conductor of an orchestra and you're trying to make the whole piece sing, it's consistently Grady and Jacoby are the two guys who are off tune and early, and they're jumping in at different spots, and you can hear it. Like you could hear it in the music, and it's like discordant when these guys make the mistakes. But yeah, Grady in particular I thought was like really, really a culprit of this. He lost the ball straight up in transition for no reason. He like obviously missed 2 threes in the first shift that he came in. Then he got dropped literally on his ass by Jaime Jaquez Jr. Now granted, Jaime was he missed a shot, but it's like one of those like, ooh, like he legit got by a nice little crossover by Jaime. Granted, I will say that Grady's hustle was good in the whole game, and he actually ended up making more defensive plays than misplays. But just the sort of like the rhythm of like Grady coming in and Jacoby coming in, like it just started just throwing off so much of the rhythm for the team, to the point where the Raptors ended up, having that stretch where they were playing well, but they started losing. Like they had to call timeout after Miami hit a three to retake the lead. I think it was like 30-29. It was like, yo, how are you up 16-3 and now you're down 30-29? And a lot of that was the second unit coming in and complicating things for themselves. Now, granted, the Raptors were able to get back in control once their starters started coming back into the game. I thought CMB probably didn't get the greatest plus minus in this game in terms of just having to share time with some of these very strange lineups, but single-handedly was like keeping the bench alive with his rebounding. Again, 9 offensive rebounds is wild. It's not like Miami doesn't have size. I mean, Miami has Bam Adebayo, and they have Kel'el Ware, who's a 7-footer, but I'm sorry, I didn't see Kel'el Ware box out even one time. But in any case, like they have size, so CMB had to work his ass off. He was maniacal, really, on the rebounds, and I thought it was a great job by CMB to sort of just secure all these extra possessions. And granted, the Raptors had a stretch there where they missed 13 straight threes, so there were more rebounds available. But nevertheless, man, CMB was just a monster down there, just attacking, the glass. He also played a little bit on offense. I still want him to do a little bit more aggressive on offense. There was a couple plays where he was stuck under the basket, and instead of trying to finish and trying to muscling up, he was like looking for the kick out pass. One time he kicked it out to nobody, like literally there was nobody in that entire half of the floor, but he just didn't want to go up under the basket and threw it behind him anyway, and it was like there's literally nobody there. So those moments got to get cut out, and I think some of those are reads and whatever, but he also had some nice finishes. That's the thing. It's like I'm not really sure why he feels so like this lack of confidence in his own shot, but because he's finishing some pretty tough ones. He had an alley-oop off a pass from Jamal Shed. He had a nice duck-in where he had, I think, Davion Mitchell under him, and so obviously that's like he has like 5 or 6 inches on Davion Mitchell, and he's a little bit, heavier, but the pass carried him so that he had to catch it almost underneath the hoop. Like, he's like right along that baseline underneath the basket. And he was able to go up and kind of contort his body midair and like flip it against the glass and make it go in. Like those are really good finishes for CMB to make. And he also knocked down a 3, which is great too. He cut for a dunk. Like there's a lot of good stuff there from CMB in that stretch, and he kind of like carried it along. I'm happy that Darko kept him in instead of sort of like just ultimately like rolling with that second unit. He didn't bench everybody in the second unit. He mostly limited the minutes of Grady and to a lesser extent Jacoby. But what I like that is like, you know what? I can't take it anymore, man. I gotta bring in the safety, the just my backup option, I suppose. You know what I mean? And it's like once in a while, Darko's like, yo. I know you got the last 2 first-round picks, from 2023 was Grady, 2024 was Jacoby. I know I got to stick with them. I got to show them patience. They've shown me more than this in the past. But when both of those guys are playing the way they are, it's like, I have to go to somebody. And he reached for Jamison Battle, and Jamison Battle, as always, was like, yo, man, I got you. Like, how about I just show you how it works to be a 3-and-D guy, okay? Oh, I'm going to go in the corner. The kickout's going to come to me. I'm going to knock down the 3, and I'm going to snap a 13 missed 3s in a row because I'm just going to do my job, knock down a 3. Then he gets onto the glass when no one's covering him. He actually, it was a loose ball, actually. It was a loose ball that kind of sprayed in his direction, so he was a bit lucky. But he got the loose ball, and instead of holding onto it, he immediately touched past the loose ball to Brandon Ingram under the basket, and Ingram was able to dunk the ball. So that's a rebound and an assist. And then he had another play where Mamu got the ball at the top. They were playing pick and pop sometimes with Mamu. They were rotating out to Mamu, and there were 2 guys on the left side of the floor. Now, what the Raptors do a lot is they'll have, if there's 2 guys on one side of the floor and somebody at the top of the ball, they'll have the guy on the wing make a cut to the basket, hopefully drawing help as he cuts. And then that opens up the pass either into the corner for, the swing for a corner 3, or it opens up that space for the driver to attack left. In this case, it was Mamu at the top of the floor. Mamu's a left-handed player. He wants to go left. But that cut caught the defense by surprise. And so Mamu was like, okay, cool. I'm going to pump fake, shot fake, draw the attention of the defense, and then throw the pass back door to Jamison, who catches it and goes up for a dunk. It's like, thank you. Like, thank you. Like, I don't know what Jacoby and Grady were doing. They were both of them were pressing so much and making the game so unnecessarily chaotic. You could tell right away Miami was not going to be good in this one. Miami obviously has lost, I think, 8 of the last 9. And the Raptors just beat them last week too. So, but like, it's like those 2 guys were just like hustling everywhere, but not in a good way. And then Jameson comes in and it's like, yo, let me just show you how this is. It's not that hard. Corner 3, make a little nice rebound, for an assist. And then I'm going to make a cut, which is honestly a cut that those other guys make. But I'm going to cut with my head up because I know Mamu's a good passer. And when I make the cut and I'm behind the defense, I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to dunk it. Like, those are just really, really nice, simple, fundamental plays that Grady and Jacoby are both capable of. But Jamison comes in and is just like, how about I just do it? You guys are making this look impossible to be a shooting guard on the Raptors. Jamison comes in, he's like, it's not that hard. No one's focused on you, man. They're worried about Scottie Barnes. They're worried about Brandon Ingram. They're worried about Emmanuel Quickly. They're worried about Mamu. Mamu's been cooking this game. They're worried about CMB. You're literally the 5th guy on the team right now. Just be open and play simple. And I love that Battle came in and played simple. I love that Darko actually rewarded Jamison too, because he gave Jamison more run in the second half, especially in the 4th quarter. And Jamison, once again, was awesome during that stretch. It was actually really funny because when Jamison came in the 4th quarter, it was a play where the Raptors once again gave Grady the shot to, play ahead of him, which you might argue, well, you know what? Why is he playing ahead of him? But whatever. Like Darko's like, I'll give you another chance, Grady. The game's easy for us right now. Let's give you another chance to bounce back. It was a very unfortunate sequence for Grady because the Raptors worked a post up. They have been getting Scottie Barnes these like deep post touches nonstop in this game. Scottie was working super hard in this one, and every time Scottie got the ball against one of these mismatches on the wing, he was able to post up, draw extra attention, and then make a pass out, or he was able to finish over the top. In this case, he got into the post, drew the defense sucked in, and he kicked it out to Grady Dick, and it's like open on the 3-point line, just above the break, shoot the three, not even close. And it was like, oh man, that sucks. And then as soon as there was a break-in opportunity, Grady came out and Jamison Battle came in. And that's as close of a direct benching as you can get from Darko, because that's position for position. That's not changing up the strategy. That's, I want someone else to do that job that I wanted you to do. And literally the next play in, same sequence, Raptors bring the help into the defense, kick it out, and Jamison's actually farther out. He's from like 30 feet out, like a solid 2-3 steps behind the 3-point line, catches it on slight movement, and he knocks down the three, and it's like, it's just unfortunate, because if I'm Grady, I'm just like, dog, really? Like, you're just going to come in and do exactly what I wasn't doing? But salute to Jamison, though, because this is not a personal game. This is not a, obviously you win and lose as a team. And for Jamison, it's like, no one promised Jamison Battle anything. Like, this guy was signed to a non-guaranteed, he was undrafted, signed to a non-guaranteed deal coming into training camp, won the 15th spot coming out at last year's training camp. They had to actually cut somebody on their original two-way to do it, signed him to a two-way, then got converted to a regular contract. Now he's been buried on the bench, even though he's done nothing wrong all season, has come in and played well in the moments he's played well. And finally, when he gets a chance to perform again, he comes in and performs again. I'm happy for him. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it should be. Every workplace has a Jamison Battle, and we're all very thankful for him. At the end of the year, he should get a nice little Christmas bonus. And I'm happy for Jamison he was able to play today. But to be honest, the game wasn't even about Jamison. It wasn't even about Sandro, although those two guys were awesome as role players. The game tonight was about Scottie Barnes dominating in the paint, especially in that second half, man. Like, even the first half, you heard the gentle prodding from the broadcast. Alvin, as a former player, being like, man, I love to see Scottie take it into the paint. Love to see being more aggressive. And there were a couple moments from Scottie in the first half where he was a little hesitant on a pass, nearly traveled. He had a play where he was under the basket, didn't look to go up, kicked it out instead. And whatever, Mamu was hot from three, but it's like, you're under the basket and you're Scottie Barnes. Go up, you know what I mean? He made basically a Collin Murray-Boyles play. And it was like, but just be more aggressive. And especially because the last two games, like, Scottie's aggression has not been there. And of course, that leads to his stat line coming down as well. I don't even care about the stats. It's just about the overall impact, because there's no replacing what Scottie's, ability to sort of batter ram his way into the paint and make good decisions, whether that's to score with his touch or to kick out and feed guys. Without that, like, no one else can do what Scottie does on this team. Like, nobody, right? So if he doesn't do it, like, I keep making the Frodo analogy, if Frodo doesn't keep walking towards Mordor, it's over. It's over for Middle Earth. You know what I mean? So it's him. He's the ring bearer, and that's the burden of being the franchise player. But the thing is, like, he has great ability, man. And when you saw in the second half, when Scottie was just going to the basket over and over and over again, the Raptors were intentionally running pick and rolls with him. Maybe got a switch, get into a smaller guy, throw the ball to him in the middle, see if the double comes or not. Scottie being smart, sometimes he would throw a pass fake out to suss out if the help was going to rotate, how they're going to react. The timing, sometimes it was an early double, he'd make an early pass out. Sometimes it was a late double, he'd make a late pass out. Sometimes a single coverage, and he would just score. I mean, my favorite play of this game, maybe my favorite play from Scottie all season, actually. So Scottie has the ball on the baseline, and he makes a spin move around Norm Powell, and he goes up for a two-handed dunk. And you're like, oh, foul, and one, right? But for some reason, the referee said it's actually on the floor, so it's going to erase the dunk, and you're not going to get the free throw. You're going to get to inbound the ball again. And I'm like, damn. I mean, not only damn because it's the fourth quarter, but it's like, damn, that was a really good play from Scottie Barnes. And that was kind of a late foul from Norm. Like, I think by that point, Scottie had already spun and gone up to his gather and into the shot. But whatever. So what? You know what? And sometimes, you can see Scottie will, like, be upset about a missed call or sort of a grievance with the referee, and sometimes he'll let that sort of dictate his play, right? Being frustrated, which is a human reaction, but I think it happens to Scottie a fair amount. Instead, no reaction from Scottie Barnes. They give the ball back to Scottie at the top of the floor. This time they run a pick and roll for him. And I forgot who it was, but they must have ghosted out or slipped out. But it wasn't like Scottie didn't really have to use the screen. He just drove hard left with Bam Adebayo tracking him every step of the way, went to the basket, saw that there was no help there, and just dunked it all over Bam. And I'm like, dude, he just dunked twice on the defense on like the same play. And I love that determination, that focus, that drive, especially in the fourth quarter. You know why Brandon Ingram didn't have to play? Because Scottie was doing it all. He was doing it all, man. He was getting to the rebound. He was getting the assist. He was driving to the basket, finishing. You know, it's not the only time he finished around Bam, too. He had a couple other finishes, too. Like, he was just the biggest bully on the playground. And that, again, that is my favorite version of Scottie Barnes, man. A smart bully is really hard to play against. And I understand that he's not just going to be able to do this all the time, especially energy-wise. It takes a lot of energy to play like this. And last game against Brooklyn, for example, it's like, well, shit, they get into the hotel rooms at 5 a.m. I don't know if you got a lot of energy if you only sleep like 3-4 hours. You know what I mean? So, like, I understand all that, but man, when he's on, like, it's like so clearly, like, it was Scottie as the best player in this game and like nobody remotely close to him. And that's in a game with like, you know, Norm, who's averaging 25 this season, and Bam, who is, you know, an all-NBA player, you know, gold medalist, you know, been to the finals, you know, Brandon Ingram, all-star player, you know, been on Team USA. Like, it's not like this game didn't have pedigree in it, but like watching Scottie play like that, I was just like, I was really impressed. And he got to the foul line a lot too, went to the foul line, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. You know, last game, I think him and Brandon combined for like 2 free throws. Is like, you tell me you're not being effective in the paint if you're not being effective in the paint. It's very clear sometimes. The free throw attempts are clear, man, because, man, I feel like Scottie got fouled like 8 times, 9 times in this game alone, with just sort of how much, you know, he was playing in that dominant style. And I know, obviously, playing in Miami is going to be a big part for him. He's got family, obviously, nearby. You know, he's a Floridian. He's a Florida man, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? Like, though, there's always going to be extra attention when he plays, you know, in Miami or in Orlando. But still, man, I think we know he has this gear. And every time he doesn't play at this gear, you got to, like, basically be, like, you know, hold him to the standard of, like, this. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 10 of 14 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, only took 1 3, missed it, whatever, hit a mid-range shot, whatever. It was in the paint the whole night. And watching him, every miss, CMB getting out there and rebounding. And by the way, CMB, I mean, the Scottie part's over. You know, Scottie was fantastic. But CMB, not only with the rebounding tonight, which was fantastic, and I think, I remember back to like a Knicks game, not the NBA Cup one, but the one before that in MSG. That was the first game where I really noticed CMB's like next level like energy on the glass. Like he was just like a man possessed in that one too. Didn't really matter because the Raptors lost by 20, but it was like, oh yeah, like okay, there's something there. And you could tell sometimes he's just like he gets into this mode where he's got the big body. He's able to deliver the first bump. His arms are long as hell. Like, that's a lot of good attributes for a rebounder. Like, when we think rebounder, we don't necessarily always need 7-footers. We don't always need guys who are able to, you know, jump above the fray. Sometimes a good rebounder is like Kevin Love. Like, especially chubby Kevin Love from Minnesota. You know, put a little bit of that BMI on you, and then bam, I'm going to get the rebound. And I got, you know, big, strong hands, and I'm going to just crap that rebound. You know what I mean? And, like, that's what CMB looked like today, which is like, I'm bigger than you guys, bumping guys around, and clearly Miami's playing unconfident. They're playing kind of soft. I'll just push these guys around and get all the rebounds. That was great, but man, I didn't even mention CMB's defense at the rim, because CMB, what do you have tonight? Okay, even the box score was good. 3 steals and a block. I swear, even beyond the 3 steals and a block, he had at least like 5 or 6 rotations, sometimes multiple on the same play, where he would rotate to the basket, deliver the body bump, which is not a foul, especially if you know how to really do it. Not a foul, cut the momentum off, and just force misses. Miami really couldn't shoot at the rim tonight. Bam Adebayo had 9 freaking points tonight, right? Bam had 9 points. Kel'el Ware had 5 points. Bro, Kel'el Ware's been delivering 25 point, 10 rebound sort of double-doubles on the regular. Last game, he just had like, you know, 6 threes, whatever. Sometimes he gets hot from 3. Kel'el Ware 2 of 8 from the field. Bam Adebayo 4 of 11 from the field. And that's obviously the Raptors collectively, but a lot of that was CMB in the middle, man. And he just bumped these guys bigger than him. Again, like Bam's bigger, 6'10", you know, stronger. Kel'el Ware's 7 foot. Again, CMB was just bump and rotate. And there were so many drives. Miami's whole thing is like to space the floor, drive, you know, try to constantly be in that sort of rhythm, even though it feels weird because it's basically only Jaime Jaquez doing the driving. But still, like, it puts you in rotation a lot, and CMB was just able to snuff out so much of it. Yes, Miami struggled tonight. Last game, the Raptors held Miami to 96 points. That was their lowest total. Well, Raptors now set a new low for Miami with 91 points allowed. And a lot of that was just CMB just being able to read the play, rotate, bump. And even when he took the foul, I love the type of fouls he was taking. Because there was plays where like, okay, yeah, their point guard, Kaspar's Jaquez, is able to beat their man at the point of attack, and he's gone downhill. And CMB's know he's going to be late. But he's like, I'm still going to go in there and foul this guy, make him earn it at the free throw line. It's like, yo, when I'm talking about like guys can't be playing soft, that right there is what I'm talking about. I'm willing to sacrifice a foul. I'm playing well. I might get taken out of the game, but I'm willing to go in there and help my teammate. And even though he screwed up, I'm going to take the fall for it. And I'm going to make sure this guy doesn't get a layup. I'm going to bump him. I'm going to make sure he doesn't get the shot off, because that's what winners do, man. And CMB plays winning style basketball all the time. So salute to CMB, Mamu, Scottie, they were awesome. Ochai was able to come in there with a little bit as well. Jameson was able to come in there and be great. Jacoby was much better in the second half. He kind of calmed down, settled down, didn't play as fast, got a couple steals, worked a couple fast breaks, like good stuff, right? Jamal was just kind of solid throughout, although I thought he was a little shaky at the start, but he kind of calmed down after a couple minutes, but wasn't a big factor in this one. I mean, it was a good performance kind of from the whole roster, really. Even IQ, I know he didn't get the threes to drop, and I'm not sure what's going on with the threes, but I thought his drives were good. He picked his spots well, and he got a lot of fouls, stopped a lot of the game and momentum for Miami. They want to play fast. They want to play on the break, multiple ball handlers. Easy way to do that is stop them from driving, because they have to inbound the ball off the rebound, off a free throw. Like, weirdly enough, IQ kind of played like an RJ Barrett game today, which was very funny to see him do. He rarely does this, but for a guy that I sometimes complain about with IQ, like the physicality is not there. I like the physicality that he played through. Everybody was able to, just reset the offense to IQ in key moments, and IQ was able to draw fouls on some of those. Like, I was happy with that. It's basically what RJ does for this team and has been missing so much. So my point was, like, everybody basically played well except for Grady. It's tough because literally everybody on the team was a minus, or at worst a 0 in Jamal's case, and Grady's the only guy -8. I hate to say it, but that was kind of the reason he got benched, and he was the guy who got the least minutes. And I'm happy that maybe for the first time all season with both of these guys available, but Jameson played more minutes than Grady. It's like, yeah, honestly, if we're just talking about merit right now, you kind of have to go with that. And I think especially for Darko, it's just like the most destructive two-man duo, I feel like, just watching it, and this is not even by like advanced stats or sort of on-off metrics or whatever, but just to the eye test, the most chaotic duo in terms of, again, who makes the most mistakes is when they put Jacoby and Grady on the floor together. It really, I mean, not only do they have similar strengths and weaknesses, but they both similarly crash out. And so when they're both on the floor, it kind of amplifies each other's worst tendencies and sort of takes away both of the overlap in terms of, like, you basically want both of those guys on the receiving end of a kick out, maybe in the corner, but they can't both be doing that all the time. So those two guys coming off the bench together has just not worked. And whether you want to replace another shooter and put in Jameson Battle, you want to put another defender, and you want to put in Ochai, you want to play bigger and play CMB and Mamu and maybe Brandon or Scottie as one of the other ones, do that instead of sort of playing those two as 2-3, because you're just not getting good benefits out of either of them when you play them as a 2-3. But again, that's literally the only thing I have to say about this game. Otherwise, I thought Darko managed a really good game. I thought the Raptors played a great one, and I'm happy for their sake that, they were able to get back in the winning column, show once again why they're a good team, why they're, again, a winning team at this stage right before Christmas, and they get to spend a couple days in Miami before they head out again to play on Boxing Day. So we're going to take a quick break and get some questions, and just kind of enjoy this one, man. This was a really enjoyable win, so appreciate the Raps for coming through tonight.
This segment is presented by Table Fare and Social. Get your pregame bites and after-work drinks at Table. It's at a great location right across the street from Scotiabank Arena and just steps away from Union Station and the Metrolinx bus terminal. Will, what are we having at Table Fare and Social?
Well, they got one of our favorites in the city, Alouette.
Ooh.
And of course, Alouette. Incredible food.
The wedge salad?
The wedge salad, exactly. Imagine you're about to watch a Raptors game, you're about to watch a Leafs game, you're about to catch a concert at Scotiabank, and beforehand, we get together, get a couple of drinks at Alouette, get that salad. We're ready for anything, man.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of options at Table, Fare, and Social. This is your go-to spot. Next time you're off to a game, check out Table, Fare, and Social, a downtown food hall right across from the arena for some great pregame bites and drinks.
All right, man, I would have loved to get that wedge salad today. Absolutely, man. I know people hear this ad and it becomes like a running gag. I love that because I think that people really should hit up Alouette, especially at Table Fare and Social, and hit that wedge salad. I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret it. Actually, they serve it at Scotiabank too. You just need to go to like the premium lower bowl entrances or whatever. It's on event level. It's like right by one of the tunnel entrances to the Raptors. So there's only 4 corners, obviously, to the court. Yeah, you should get that wedge salad, man. You trust me, you will not regret it, man. There's a reason why the chat's always celebrating the wedge salad. Okay, we're taking your questions. Big shouts to Interim Karem for hanging out with me on my B-Day. He's been going through all your questions and starring them. I've been adding a couple and sprinkling a couple in as well. So I appreciate all of you guys. First off, from Tala, Will is one of those kids where he gets his birthday gifts on Christmas. Yeah, honestly, I'm a guy who I usually don't like my birthday very much, and I try not to celebrate it. Try to just kind of keep to myself and just do some good things for the world on that day. But today I was actually able to, a real 33-year-old birthday. 30 when you turn 33, all of a sudden you really want to do, self-care with the boys. So we actually hit up a sauna together. So yeah, that's what I was spending most of today was in hot tubs and cold tubs, in steam rooms. Yeah. Just make your little Charles Barkley jokes right now if you want to, really. But yeah, no, it was actually a really great time. I had a really nice dinner, had a really nice time, and then legit just like went straight from that to watching the game, watched the Raptors play well. So I guess I've just been on like a straight 6 hours of just like good moments. So maybe that's part of the reason why you're hearing some of the throw in my voice, but you guys know, man. I always, when the Raps win, I'm pretty happy. It's not that hard. It's not that simple. We also got quite a few comments noting that Masai Ujiri was at the game. Yeah, this is weird because in the first quarter, you were like looking over at the bench. And you were like, hold up, is that? I know that guy. I know who that is. I know your face. You know what I mean? Like, Theoden after getting, awoken from the spell type with Elwin being like, oh my God, I know that face. It's like, bro, Scottie Barnes is at the free throw line. This is in the first quarter. I took this picture off of League Pass. They don't let you screen cap League Pass, so I just took a picture of my computer. But like, yeah, I'm like in the background right behind Scottie's head is Alex McKechnie, and then right beside him is Masai Ujiri. And I'm like, yo, Masai, bro, what's going on? I know Masai has a house in Miami and stuff like that. So, obviously, again, if you had to choose your time where you're going to spend your winters, I mean, Miami's obviously a good place to go. Miami's, Masai's still working, and he still comes up to Canada a lot. He was just recently meeting with, Prime Minister Mark Carney as well. So, like, he's obviously got his role with the UN. I mean, he's heavily involved in charities through GOA and other sort of initiatives in the NBA. So it's like, Masai's a busy man. But I was like, whoa, hold on, is that Masai? And by the way, I love that he was sitting right beside the Raptors bench too. Like, I mean, he looks like he's 1 seat away from Darko because it's also Pat Delaney's, who looks gigantic, actually. I don't know how this image managed to sort of develop like this, but for some reason, Pat Delaney looks huge to Scottie's left shoulder. And then Masai looks much smaller to the right shoulder. But yeah, it's like 1 seat away from where their coach is. So, yeah, I was happy to see Masai. I obviously no in-game interview or anything like that. Might have been a little awkward if the channel owned by Rogers interviewed Masai, fired by Rogers in the middle of the game. But, in any other context, I would have loved to have heard from Masai in that sort of in that moment. But it was great to see Masai. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, Masai, this is the mess you built, whatever. It's like, I mean... If anyone's anything other than thankful for Masai, you're doing it wrong. I'm not to say that you can't critique him, but for people who resent Masai, I just don't understand, bro. You don't understand. Masai Ujiri in attendance at the Raptors game tonight. That's what it looked like when the Raptors were losing the lead to Miami. But unfortunately for the Heat, the Raptors were able to call the ambulance, but not for the Toronto Raptors tonight. So, no, it was great to see Masai, man. I was again, I'm still... Masai, if you ever hear this, if one of your assistants hear this, anyone at GOA hears this, would love to interview Masai. We would talk freely with no politics. You don't have to, It doesn't have to be a Bell or TSN property or a Bell or Rogers property. We can just independent, just hash it out. What happened at the end there? Go through all the best moments. You saw the interview with Fred. You saw the interview with Bobby. You saw the interview with Serge. This is the place to come. You know what I mean? So Masai, please, I'm begging. If I saw him in person, that's exactly what I'd say. Actually, the last time I saw Masai in person, that's what I said, because I saw Masai actually last in September. That was during Toronto International Film Festival. He had a documentary that was screening there, and we stuck around for the Q&A afterwards. But yeah, I was like able to chop it up with Masai, and I told him like, yo, please let's do an interview. No promises though, no promises. Sorry guys, I tried my best, but there's a reason why Alex is producer and I'm just host and talent here. So okay, let's get through some of your other questions. CMB's developing well, great minutes from him tonight. Yeah, I think this is like tonight was like, I mean, it might have been the best game that CMB's played in his rookie season. Definitely the first double-double, hopefully first of many to come. But like I said, it was a couple things I thought worked really well. First off, when he finished on offense, he was really efficient with his chances, right? Like he missed one layup that he really should have made, and I'm sure he would be kicking himself a little bit for that, but took the right shots. And my only thing with CMB is he doesn't take enough shots. He ends up like passing out of a couple like opportunities onto the basket. I mean, I understand from his perspective, he's like 6'7", 6'8", and he's not going to be dunking the ball that much. So it's like, man, like, if there's a crowd around him, like what's he supposed to do? But I think that's where you got to develop a couple more finishes, or even make different reads where you don't get trapped under the basket. Because it is an awkward spot to finish under the hoop. Like it is, right? Not everyone could be that. But then again, he also had a finish under the hoop. So he's capable of it. But I think the rebounding, especially sort of how active he is, like he's not going to be one of those like Mitchell Robinson rebounders where he's just bigger than you and he's able to put the body on you and then reach above you. Like you're basically like screwed at that point. You got to do one of the two, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, I think for CMB, like he's active, he's mobile, he can rebound from different positions, like he can crash, not just like be under the basket and take up space. Like he can crash, get his own rebound. He's got a good second jump as well in terms of how quickly he goes up for the second jump. Honestly, part of getting a good second jump is also you don't have a great first jump, so it doesn't feel like CMB is like leaping over guys for the first rebound. So if you don't jump that high for the first one, you could jump again sooner than most other people. But in any case, like got a good second jump, he's got good endurance. I love the way CMB attacked the glass today, and then the rebounding and the disruptiveness on defense, man. Like honestly, he carried the Raptors for a stretch there, when the Raptors were like really like stumbling in that first half in that second quarter, where the bench was, giving it away. Like every other bench guy got sort of eventually shuffled to the bench. Like CMB stayed out there, and I liked CMB with Scottie too. Like CMB, Scottie, Mamu together has been fun. CMB, Scottie, Brandon, I think can be a really nice one as well. I think the one thing with Brandon is he probably wants space to score. Like there was a post-game interview recently where Brandon was like, I told Darko, like, get CMB out the game, put Mamu in there instead to give me more spacing on that side of the floor, which is totally fair. Like that would provide him more spacing. But I think CMB is also shooting it decently. Obviously, he's not as good of a shooter as Mamu. Like that's not even to be debated right now. But I think especially as that three comes along and CMB's in more comfortable positions, like, yeah, like that's part of Vision 6-9. I mean, shit, play all four of them together. Like that could work too. Like Scottie, Brandon, CMB, and Mamu. We never play that big, but why not play those 4-6-9 guys together, especially with Jaquez out, and then play like whoever at the point, like Jamal or IQ. Probably IQ is better for that group. But yeah, like why not? You know what I mean? I think CMB gives you a lot of flexibility, in how you sort of build your team. Yeah, so. I think, yeah, I mean, he doesn't always do this, but he does do a good job with this too. Bench reactions are gold. Yeah, by the way, that's the other thing too. It's like, yo, man, when I see James in battle, I mean, he's known for the bench reactions like that. Well, first off, you get known for the bench reactions when you're on the bench a lot. Okay. But yeah, like, so he's been good on the game. And when he comes off to the bench, in the fourth quarter, when Scottie's dunking the ball, they pan to the bench and it's like, there's Jameson with the great reaction. It's like, come on, man. He's literally killing it on and off the court. It was great. Yeah, on the other side, man, Bam was really invisible tonight. I'm so really happy that Scottie was aggressive. When he gets to the basket, good things happen. Not sure why he has games where he settles, but glad he's back on track. I mean, yeah, Scottie has like a lot of great qualities. Bam is like an interesting guy for him to play against because like they sometimes have a little bit of similarities. Like Bam is obviously closer to being a big, and Scottie's closer to being a wing, but like kind of like weirdly similar in terms of like how they might function, maybe as dribble handoff hubs sometimes, or even as like occasional rollers to the basket, even though they're primarily not rollers to the basket. They can also obviously hit from the mid range, and this year Bam's hit from the three. But there are some similarities, but I feel like Scottie does a lot of things better than Bam. Like the handle, the ability to drive from the top of the floor. Bam's very accomplished. I'm not saying that he's more accomplished than Bam. That's not even close to true. But yeah, like Scottie's, I just think that like when he sees this matchup, I think he does really well in it. Again, like a lot of this was just good defense by the Raptors. Part of it is also, I know Miami's been doing this whole wheel offense, and some of them they to space the floor and they want to play 5 out. Well, they got to put the one shooter in a spot where he can somewhat shoot from, which is the corner. And it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I look at Bam in the corner and I don't know if did he make a corner three? I don't know if he made one. No, he missed it. But I'm like, why is Bam Adebayo in the corner? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I know you want to play like a good, like this specific style where you play 5 out and you want to space and drive kick. But like, in no context is Bam good in the corner. Like, if your offense says, hey, let's put your best player in the corner, even though he's a big man who's better for dribble handoffs, it's like, well, maybe we just run a different offense then, because that doesn't really make sense, right? If Bam's gonna be in the corner, like you're just not. Well, what's the point of paying him $50 million if he's in the corner, right? So, yeah, Bam was really invisible, and Scottie was awesome tonight. Like thoroughly outplayed him, which was great. Why can't we have more of Jameson instead of guys like Ochai and Grady? Always plays within himself. Yeah, it's a pretty fair question. I mean, look, I'm not saying that Jameson Battle is the answer to all the issues with the Raptors. He certainly doesn't address things like how, outside of today, but how rarely the Raptors touch the paint and, how much they're unable to sort of break that initial shell of the defense, with pick and rolls or with drives or with one-on-ones. Like, they're just not drawing that much help in a lot of these too. And that's hurting most shooters, including guys like Jameson. But the thing is, at a certain point, and I keep going back to this idea, and it was really, really hammered home in that NBA Cup game, where I'm like, is this year a developmental season or is it a winning season? Because in a winning season, you play the best players you got in the best order you can have them, in the best combination you can have them, and you can live with the results. In a developmental season, you are playing the players that you developed and invested the most draft capital into. That's one of the key differences. And right now, on the whole, on the season, Grady's had some good moments. I know I think people are a little bit too like up and down on it, but like I understand because he's certainly in a frustrating mode right now and he's not been good this season. But Jameson has played better than him. He's had maybe 1/4 of the minutes that Grady's gotten the chance to play. And I understand that they're more invested in Grady. But again, is it a winning season or is it a developmental season? Because if it's a winning season, you play Jameson Battle. Like if it's a team that wants to come in the playoffs, let's roll with Jameson because he absolutely deserves it. Yeah, with Grady's defense, every time he has a run with the ball, he almost turns it over again. He needs to slow down, look, and pass it, right? Yeah, I think part of this is, it's a couple of things actually. No, so number one, I actually think his defense has been okay. Guys obviously can beat him off the dribble. He's a little bit weaker on drives, but he's also been pretty disruptive and he's like hustling like crazy. He's falling out of bounds and stuff like that. Like he's playing all out. Like the intention is very good from Grady. And I would say he's more disruptive than you would expect, which is good. Again, the ultimate goal is for him to convert on offense, and that's what he should be making his money on. But I like that he's giving you the bonuses. You know what I mean? It's like you go to a restaurant and they just like you go to a Korean restaurant, you go to a Korean and like you're like, oh man, I can't wait to get like a pork bone soup. I can't wait to, have a seafood pancake, or I'm gonna have bulgogi, or whatever. Just ask Jaime. You know what I mean? Like any of those things. You know what I mean? Like you could just come in and you expect like the main thing. But of course, like sometimes you go to a Korean restaurant and you might be blown away by the banchan, the little like free, dishes, like kind of little small appetizers they just slap on the table, like a little glass noodle, with a little sesame oil, or like a little bit of that little poached potato thing that they do, or the seaweed, or the kimchi. Like honestly, like this, the soybeans, like shit, that banchan sometimes hits harder than the main dish. And that's the thing with Grady. It's like the main dish, all right, the gamja tongue of the whole thing really should be hitting threes, being in transition, and giving you instant offense off the bench. Okay, that's what you came for. Grady is serving you some good bonchon with his hustle and his defense, scrapping for loose balls, fighting like crazy. And then the main dish comes out and you're like, there's a hair in that thing. I ordered pork, now I got tofu. Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, that's the experience. So you would if you were to write a review for the restaurant, you'd be like, well, it's not all bad, but I didn't get what I came for. And that's kind of what it feels like. The other part was him rushing and forcing the issue. I think it's two parts. One, I think is there is certainly this like internal pressure, right? Grady's young, Jacoby's young, like these guys are competing head to head. They've known that from the start. It's like, you know, okay, I gotta do more. And like, I don't feel like both of them don't feel like they're in a peaceful state, you know, when they come into the game. There's not like a steadiness of confidence sometimes about them. It's like, I need to sort of produce. So there's already that pressure. And sometimes that leads to them sort of shooting in times that don't really feel right. Because they're like, oh, please make this go in. If this goes in, then I can get to keep playing. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good place to sort of operate from. The other part is just, I don't think Grady's a good ball handler at all. And so sometimes when you're not a good ball handler, you can't change speeds. Now, sometimes you might just have to say, okay, I'm going to stop. I don't have to be a good ball handler to pick up the ball and stop, wait for my point guard to dish it off, you know, but sometimes Grady's like idea in the mind that he has is prompting him to move faster than what he can actually execute with his hands and his coordination. And without a good handle, I mean, and this is someone as like, even in my pickup basketball, like I can't dribble the ball at all, but I can really shoot. It's just like, sometimes I have to attack a closeout because guys got to come to me, and I'm just like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pump fake. They're going to close on me because they know I can shoot. I'm going to two dribbles. I'm going to either get to the mid-range or get to a floater in the middle. And as soon as like I put the ball down, I'm like, and then I panic and I just do some dumb shit with it. And that's kind of what I feel with Grady sometimes too. Grady also does a lot with this, like, there must be something like, where it's also just in transition as well. He plays out in transition, so he's kind of playing at a higher speed. But yeah, slowing down and just like, man, Jameson Battle, like he doesn't rush. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, it sucks to be like, yo, I gotta play like this guy, but like, it's a good example. Like, he comes in, he doesn't force it. He's in the right positions, and when you don't like chase it and you let the game come to you, you can also make extra plays and make the other options and see the other options that are there. So yeah, like if Grady were in a band, he'd be early. If Grady were at a Korean restaurant, he'd be the bonchon. Like, it's weird, man. It's weird. So, don't do this, man. Don't do this, please. My greatest fear is having to perform in athletics in front of people who actually expect me to be good. Because I'm not. Yeah, CMB went full Dennis Rodman mode tonight. That was nice. IQ with a high usage, very mid-game. The only thing with the usage with IQ is just like, I just don't think IQ should have the ball for this much dribbling around. I understand that, like, you can't always have Brandon get open on the ball because he's also sometimes weak with it on the ball. And Scottie, you want him in the post. So, like, today you want to establish Scottie in the post. You want to put Brandon off ball. It's like, okay, well, who's going to have the ball? It's got to be the point guard. So IQ has the ball. The thing is, when the play breaks down, and this is one of the fundamental skills of a point guard, is like, when the play breaks down, are you going to create something out of nothing? Like, that's always something point guards have to do. And that's part of the reason point guards usually have lower field goal percentages, is they got to take these late clock shots that are usually low percentage shots. But the thing is, how much higher of a percentage can you get on a low percentage shot? And I know that sounds stupid, but like, that's what the task is. Like, can you cook with nothing? That's all, like, a lot of the time the point guard is asked to do that. And the things with IQ, and I think he did a decent job of it in the second half, but like in the first half, there was a lot of plays where he was just like, he's driving, he gets caught off on drives, he pivots, he pump fakes, and he resets. And I'm just like, that's not helpful. That's just not helpful. And those are the possessions where you wish you could have it back, or you wish IQ was able to have more of an ability to beat his man, or even keep his dribble alive, and not just do the cut off kick out thing, because that does nothing. Versus, like, you keep the dribble alive. Okay, the layup's not there for me. I keep the dribble alive under the basket, like Steve Nash, go across the lane and see what other, if the defense follows me, and then I can, make a more in rhythm pass for a kick out, or I can maybe go on the other side of the lane and turn around for a quick shot. Like, those kind of things. And I feel like with IQ, like, my least favorite IQ play is when he attacks off the dribble, gets in like 2 steps, basically around the free throw line area, gets bumped, has to pick up his dribble, pick up, then like look to pivot, reset. And it's just like, oh man, that kills the offense more than anything else. What else, man? Want to know with Masai in the building? I've seen enough. Hashtag bring him back. Yeah, nothing. I would, it'd be great to see Masai back, but I think it's time, obviously, with the team has moved on. It is weird to see Masai as one of those guys like Norm, like Kyle, like Pascal, like Fred, like OG, where you're like, why is he in a Raptor anymore? Like, like it sucks to sort of see your exes, and Masai is one of your exes, and I just never thought, I thought we would marry Masai and spend happily ever after type of thing. So, a lot of people want to see the team pick. Let's see the team pick, man. Let's see the team pick. Karam, there we go. Oh, okay. First off, just like how he stole his minutes tonight, Jameson Battles also stealing Grady Dick's pose tonight. But the other thing I liked with this too is just I like seeing the whole roster together. I know that the Raptors obviously had sent their two-ways and also Jameson or Jonathan Mobo to the G League. Unfortunately, the Raptors 905 unbeaten streak ended at 16 games. They lost in the final to Utah. I didn't watch it, but I mean, it's kind of incredible that they got blown up by so much in Utah. I'm not totally sure what happened there, but still, nevertheless, like an incredible job by the two ways and Mobo as well, actually, to deliver the way they have for the 905. But yeah, basically they have a small break here, so they're able to join up with the team in Miami. And yeah, there you go. You see them on the left side, Elijah, Jacoby, AJ off to the side there. I think, yeah, Mobo's there as well. What's cracking me up is there's always one Raptor every year that just sticks to wearing team gear. This used to be Marc Gasol. This for a while was actually OG when he rejected fashion. He ended up going back to just sweats and stuff. Yeah, so there's always like one Raptor a year that just straight up only wears team sweats. And this year, I think that title has gone to Chucky. I think this is actually a sign of financial prudence more than anything else. Because like obviously, like, when you're on a two-way, you're not making that much money. I'm not trying to pocket watch these guys. These guys are all going to do well for themselves career-wise, and they're going to make a lot of money. But sometimes I'm like, if you're on a two-way and you're spending a lot of money on clothes and stuff, it's just like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be real confident, which might not be a bad sign. In any case, when I see guys doing the Herb Jones, which is another guy, this is not on the Raptors, but on the Pelicans, like, I love this, like, and it always sticks out so much. I don't know why wearing the team uniform makes you unique. It should make you blend in with the rest of the group. But yeah, there's always one guy on the team that wears the team gear. Shout out to Chucky. He's been balling out like crazy. RJ, come back soon, man. Please come back soon. Yeah, it's good to see the group happy. You know what I mean? It's good to see Mamu just peeking in the back there over top of Yak. Yak was yawning on the bench. Yak, buddy, just take the time you need to rest, man. Come back with the proper back. I swear, people are forgetting that Yak was awesome last year. And I know that was last year, this year, whatever. The back is a real concern. But man, I just want a healthy Jakob, man. If I can have one more birthday wish, can I wish for Jakob Poeltl to stop having back issues, please? Because when he's healthy, he's a very good player, and people are talking about him like he's a scrub now. It's horrible. So, yeah, good to see the team happy as always. And of course, the chain. Karam's also got the chain for us as well, man. CMB gets the chain. That looks like Darko's hand right there. That looks like a little coach's. Well, I mean, just the hand size difference. Wow, look at the hand. Wait, hold on. Whoa, look at the size of CMB's hand and Darko Rajakovic's hand, bro. What the hell is going on there? Yo, this shit look like the Ludacris Get Back video, man. Like, yo, what, guys? Like, are you guys taking in just the size and hands? I know Darko's always like, I love hands, but like, bro, yo, that's crazy. Yo, CMB's hand legit looks like 3 times bigger than his hand. Yo, if he dapped him up, he might hug him instead. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, someone said that the hand is as big as the chain. I don't know. Maybe it's like an optical illusion. Maybe the hand's closer to the camera. But, like, bro, the hand is like, this looks like that Kawhi Leonard photo. This infamous Kawhi Leonard photo where he compares hand sizes with, I believe it's actually Holland McKenzie, who used to write for the Raptors. But yeah, like it looks like that. Actually, Karam, can you go find that Kawhi hand photo, please? He's like holding hands with like a white reporter, and obviously Kawhi's hand is much bigger. But like, yeah, I'm just tripping out at the size of CMB's hands, bro. Like, what the hell's happening? Yo, bro, CMB's hand looks so big. It looks like he could palm my head, man. Like, what the hell's going on here? This, it looks like he can slap. If CMB slaps you, he slaps your whole head. He does. He slaps both your left side and your left cheek and your right cheek, man. That's crazy. Yeah, happy for CMB, man. He's got a very magnetic smile. And I still see him as a little bit shy sometimes. He's still a bit in his shell at times. Um, but I'm really happy. Okay, so we got the comparison. So this is CMB in Darko's hand. This is the claw picture, which I think everyone should have seen by now. But yeah, this is this is the hand comparison. Honestly, this kind of what it looks like when CMB's going to depth of Darko, man. It's a mismatch. It's just a mismatch. This looks like Wemby posting up Chris Paul or something. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, very happy for Collin and well deserved. See, honestly, you love games where you have multiple choices. Like Scottie could have gotten it. Honestly, Mamu could have gotten it. I thought Mamu was going to get the chain here tonight for sure. But I think this might be CMB's like first or second chain of the season. So I'm really happy. I'm really happy that he got the win tonight. And yeah, prime Kawhi, bro. Look, no, this is not. Come on, this is incredible, man. I wonder who has a bigger hand, Kawhi or Wemby? Because like you would think Wemby, just off of being like a whole foot taller than Kawhi, he would have the bigger hands. But I don't know. Kawhi has like the hands of like. I mean, no one needs to. Kawhi has this incredible block where there's a picture of him blocking a shot where it's just the tip of his middle finger on the ball and he's fully blocking the ball. And I'm just like, how is your finger strength so strong that you straight up blocked an entire basketball with it? But yeah, Krem, I don't know if you can find the data there. Actually drop in the private chat. I think you can actually look at draft site measurements, or like NBA stats has like a measurements for hand size. So Victor Wembanyama has significantly bigger hands than Kawhi Leonard, with Wemby's hand span of around 12 inches and length even longer compared to Kawhi's well-known 11.25 inch span. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? That's fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. I guess we'll never know. Well, we're really comparing hand sizes on this show. All right. You know what? Let's just move on. It's not a great conversation. What am I doing? But anyway, yeah, CMB, happy for you, dog. What else? If we play CMB and battle at the same time, the bench plus minus goes through the roof. I think there's a couple guys that really would pair well together. I think that just in general, the Raptors should play bigger as much as possible. Of course, this is contingent on Mamu and CMB playing well. But especially with Jakob out, like I want those two guys to play a lot. Like, what did they play tonight? Mamu started, played 28 minutes. CMB played 25 minutes. And that was good. Like Brandon, Scottie, Mamu, CMB should all be in that 25 and up range, especially in this time. And honestly, I'll even live with like a slow half from CMB or whatever. Like I just need the size out there and his disruptiveness on defense. Like I think he's just, no matter what, he's a purely additive player in my opinion. So you should just play them as much as possible. But yeah, if you want more steadiness from the bench, I mean, first off, you just gotta, I mean, it sucks to do this. And I know it's like, it sucks because those guys are young in their career. But on the flip side, it's like, you guys have a lot of time left in your career. Like, you know, this isn't your last shot or anything. They're both guaranteed for next year. You're all good. Like, in the scope of things, you might even be back in the rotation in a month. But you kind of might just have to pick one of Scottie and Jacoby and just roll with it. Putting both of them in there and having both of them make the same mistakes is just killing the vibe. Like, it kind of hurts Jamal as well. Yeah, like, Jameson will be real steady. I mean, even Ochai, the way Ochai's been playing with the starting unit, like, I don't even mind more Ochai minutes. Even though I know Ochai's, like, kind of not long for the team, but even Ochai's been steady. You know what I mean? Again, like, I'm not even necessarily looking for guys to, like, wow me. I just want you to not make mistakes. You know? Like, sometimes, again, I was in a band before, and it's like, in high school and stuff, it's like, yeah, like, if you're an orchestra, and you're not, like, because, you know, like, there's obviously, like, in every, okay, I'll break it down for you. If you go to, like, Kiwanis Festival or whatever, in every band, every school band, there's, like, anywhere from 5 to 10 Asian kids that are like super into band. Okay. Like I was one of them. Okay. But like, you're like super into band. You like take it really seriously. You practice, you got like 99% on every single class that you have for music. It brings up your, you know, your overall average, you know, but like you deserve it because you worked hard. Like you treat this shit like a job and you have talent. Maybe you have a tutor outside of it. But you really like carry the standard. So you got the solos. Obviously you're playing first chair and everything like that. Like that just comes with the territory. Of course, in a high school band, there's also probably just like a guy who's like fifth, like, you know what I mean? Like the fifth clarinet player, or like the third trombone guy, or like, you know what I mean? Like the six flautist, you're like, yeah, I don't really care that much. You know what I mean about this? And like, I'm just, I kind of just like it, but I maybe don't have talent for it. I don't really care about it that much. It's better for that six flautist to not play and miss some notes than to be playing loudly with the wrong notes and in the wrong time. That's when you notice a mistake. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Sometimes mistakes are way more costly than the actual successes. Like, it doesn't matter how many notes you hit on time in the right way. It really matters that you don't play the wrong note at the wrong time. So yes, mistakes are definitely very important. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have been making a lot of analogies tonight. Will looks like a bass player. Just kidding. I was a flute player as well. That's right. When I was in grade 6, yeah, in grade 6, my parents brought me to was it Long McQuaid? It might have been Long McQuaid, Chester Long McQuaid. And they were like, "What instrument do you want to play? Because we want you to play music." And I'm like, I think all the girls play flute, so I'm gonna play flute. And honestly, all the girls did play flute. It did make me an anomaly in the sense of like, why is this gigantic Asian guy playing flute? And he's playing first chair. No humble brag, but what I mean, that's pretty good. But it was like, yeah, I actually really liked it. And honestly, there were a lot of good melodies, man. It really developed my lung capacity as well. Yeah, I was really really proud to play flute, bro. Shouts all the male flute players out there. You know what I mean? Let me know if there's more than me out there, please. Anybody? Okay, no. Would a 905 assignment be helpful for Grady? I guess. I think some of it is just it's a little bit mental. Like, I think like for him to find a bit of confidence, maybe with the 905, but I mean the 905 is weird because I don't think Grady's really done that well with the 905 when he's gone down there. Weirdly, same thing with Jacoby. Like, I know people are like looking at the 905, they're like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, they're winning. It's like, dog, I'm seeing like AJ Lawson and Elijah and Chucky play better at the 905 than I saw Jacoby play at the 905 and Grady. I saw those games when they played at the 905. Like, they weren't particularly great. It's not a great place for guys who can't handle the ball that great. I'll just tell you that much. So, yeah. What other questions we got? Shout out to Darko. Adjustments were made. Yeah, you know what, Darko? No complaints for Darko today. Actually, we got a lot of birthday wishes. But actually, before we get to birthday wishes, sometimes on your birthday, you really just want to kick back. You want to relax. You want to make the chill choice on your birthday, okay? Today chose to obviously kick back with my boys. Just 5 dudes hitting the sauna together, and really taking care of ourselves and just having a chill, relaxing day. And because ultimately basketball, man, it could be stressful. Okay, Raptors, you never know what they're gonna do this year. They're up and down. But your choice of beer, that is the one thing that does not have to be. Coors Light delivers mountain cold refreshments. You see that the holidays are coming up, and be going home. You see my brothers, see my mom, dad, my grandparents, and I'm like, we're probably going to whip out some Mahjong at some point. Maybe play a little Crazy Eights because, we too cheap to buy Uno cards. And we're just like, you're gonna chop it up, typical little Chinese like dinner spread. You're gonna have, whatever, but you're gonna clear it up. You're gonna cut some fruit, slice up some pomelo. Shouts to Pomelo Anthony. You're gonna slice up some pomelo, put some slices on there, some pear, some honeydew. You never know, right? But it's gonna be a lot of fruit, probably a lot of nuts as well. And you're having all these snacks. And you're like, this is not complete without mountain cold refreshment. And that's where obviously I turn to the fridge. Open that fridge up. I look at it. The blue mountain sign is glowing. And when that mountain sign is blue on the Coors Light can, that's when the beer is as cold and refreshing as the Rockies. So when the game heats up, whether that's the game of Mahjong or the game of basketball, why not make the chill choice by grabbing a crisp, refreshing Coors Light? Find Coors Light near you. Visit CoorsLightShop.ca. Celebrate responsibly. You must be of legal drinking age, of course. All right. Guys, I appreciate you guys for sending in a lot of money today. This is great. This is absolutely great. We're just gonna run through these. $5 from Samuel, who says, "Happy birthday, Will, and Merry Tibbs Eve." What does that mean? Is that like a Christmas thing? I hope everyone's having eggnog with their friends and family. I hope so too. You know what I mean? I hope you guys were finally wrapped up work, get the next 2 days off, however you choose to celebrate, whatever holidays you're celebrating. Enjoy the time off, and if you're able to spend time with family and friends, there's nothing more important in the world. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. What else we got here? Hold on. I'm just going to go through the super chats. Boom. Here's another $5. Happy birthday, Will. I'm turning 33 today as well. Awesome to get that W for our B-Day gift. Yo, what? Yo, Capricorn boys. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, congratulations and happy birthday to you too as well. This is a nice win. The Raptors, by the way, they always play on the 23rd, okay? They always play on the 23rd. But I got to say, to their credit, they do usually win on the 23rd as well. So I have done a lot of happy react pods on my birthday. Someone also sent in $2 as well. Happy birthday, Will. Here's my Asian tip for every meal. Very good. Very good. That's a Jimmy O Yang joke, okay? He's like, you know what an Asian tip is? That's no matter what the bill is, you add $2. And by the way, I did not leave an Asian tip today for my meal, so I appreciate it. And of course, not money, but this is a good note from Jing, not Jane. Like the video, folks, for Will's birthday. Yeah, like the video. Hit a little subscribe. If you haven't a little subscribe yet, hit that little subscribe. Just for your boy, please. I'm not like most YouTubers. I'm not begging for that subscribe all the time, but in exchange for not hearing that annoying prompt, maybe you just hit the subscribe and then it doesn't apply to you ever again. So, what else, man? I play flute and I switched to trumpet. Honestly, what is the coolest band instrument to play? I mean, for a while I thought saxophone might have been, like either alto or tenor sax would have been pretty cool to play. Yeah, honestly, French horn is like incredibly difficult, but I find it to be so elegant. That little sharp, crisp note. Kind of like a Coors Light, by the way. You know what I mean? Like a sharp, crisp note that just like shines through. Especially if you're playing band, you're playing on a lot of like, big band sort of sounds. Like French horns are pretty underrated. Trumpets are cool too. Another very sharp, crisp sound, obviously. I don't know. I guess I never really liked the brass because like you're just kind of like buzzing all the time, and then every time, especially at the flute section, I'm like, okay, obviously you're playing woodwind. There's gonna be some condensation. You might have to like clear it out once in a while, but it's like maybe once per class or once per practice or whatever. Every time, especially at the flute section, you're sitting at the front, you like look back at the section. Every time there's a stoppage, I look back and there's just like 6 guys or girls just like clearing their instruments on the ground, and I'm just like, that's nasty as hell. Okay. And this is just kind of standard practice for brass instruments, but like all that buzzing and all that moisture, I'm like, ugh, that's shit's gross. Shit's gross is all I'm saying. So, yeah, percussion's also quite cool too, by the way. Percussion is very cool. But again, percussion is like, you can't make mistakes. Percussion's like the point guard of the band. You make a mistake, it's going to affect the whole thing. You know what I mean? Everyone depends on you, and you got to set the rhythm, you got to set the tone, you got to set the tempo. You're early, the whole thing doesn't work. You're late, the whole thing doesn't work. You got to be on time every time, be consistent. And yeah, I didn't realize I was such a big band nerd, but I really, really, really enjoyed my time in band as a high school kid. I wish I didn't give it up in university, but it's okay. A lot of regrets in university. Who was Masai cheering for? I mean, us, man. What do you mean? Do you think he's cheering for the Heat? I did have a hot take that if Pat Riley were ever to step aside, Masai could be a good president to take over in Miami, especially because he has a property there. But man, imagine Masai in Miami. Masai's like, yo, I finally got to be in a free agent destination. For all the like good work he did in Denver and the good work he did in Toronto, neither Toronto or Denver were destination franchises, even though cool places. Like Toronto, very cool. Denver's actually quite cool as well. But if Masai got to run Miami with like the no state income tax and it's Miami, whoo, man. I mean, the thing is, it's hard. The people don't talk about it, but it's very hard to replace these legends. Like, what are you supposed to do after Pat Riley? Well, Masai would be pretty sick too. So we'll see, man. I mean, I'll root for Masai wherever. You know what I mean? Like he's in that group with OG, Pascal, Fred, Norm. For me, it's just like wherever they go, like I'm gonna root for them. Like and that's just how eternally grateful I am for these people. We'll check out the clip of Dylan Brooks staring at LeBron. Yo, how much do the Suns and Lakers play each other, man? How do they play each other every week, bro? All right, Karem, if you can find that video, please. More work for you, dog. Just please go ahead. I'll answer a couple more in the meantime. What else, man? I'm sorry, but woodwind instruments are just gross. Honestly, yeah, woodwind instruments are kind of nasty. I mean, I guess you're blowing wind through them, so like you're obviously that's gonna come with like a fair amount of like condensation. But I don't know, it's not so bad. By the way, playing flute was also very convenient because like it's funny because I had some friends who like I had 2 really good friends who like played tuba. And they would have to like lug that thing around once a year to bring it back to home and then to bring it back to school. They had 2 tubas. They had one for home and one for at school and stuff. But like watching them carry around this like oversized luggage is insane. Meanwhile, every time I had my flute, I would just like put it in my backpack, zip it up, and just leave. You know what I mean? It was very, very convenient. Yeah, well, I don't know. What are you, man? What are you, like are you a strings player? Yo, strings is lame. Okay, I'm sorry, dog. Strings is lame. And I'll tell this to my brother in the face. He's a very, very good violin player, but strings is lame as hell, bro. Nah, man, lame. Okay, play woodwinds. Put your body into it. You know what I mean? Put your soul into it. So we have the clip of Dylan Brooks. All right, let's run the clip of Dylan Brooks. You know what? I appreciate Dylan Brooks for this. This is the pregame stare for people who are looking. It's just the camera's just panned on Dylan. He's not moving for like a whole 30 seconds here. He's obviously staring at LeBron. This is something he always does. This might not be from this season, actually. Is it from this season? No, it has to be, right? Because he's a Suns jersey. Who is that behind him, man? Why does that look like Bol Bol or something? Who's that guy behind him? Because he's not on the team anymore, is he? No, who is that? Oh, that might be Rasheer Fleming. My bad. But yeah, like I don't know. I enjoy all these antagonizers, man. I enjoy Draymond. I enjoy Dylan Brooks. Maybe I just enjoy violence in basketball, but yeah, bring back hating, man. I love hating, bro. Hating is great. He could be looking at everyone. You know he's looking at LeBron, okay? Parappa the Raptor, which is an incredible name. Like we know what he's looking at. We know he's looking at Bron, bro. This is what he does. Yeah, he's doing this on behalf of Toronto, okay? He's chanting his inner Toronto home. Oh, come on. That's not what I meant to put up there. I thought he meant this is revenge for LeBronto. Let's reject that, okay? All right. Shouts to honestly, just be more gentle to the people unhoused in Toronto. You know, it's very cold here and it's also very expensive. Like, what do you want people to do sometimes, you know? Try not to put judgment on these people and respect their humanity first and foremost. Yeah. All right. Well, this is fun. We took a lot of questions today. I appreciate you guys. Raptors could use a dash of hate sometimes. Yeah, you know what? The closest thing we got to a hater is Scottie trolling people, which is still pretty great. But I do look like I do really enjoy having a badass on the team. You know, wouldn't mind one. We can go from there. You know, I'm not trying to have a whole team of them. I'm not trying to start like Miles in the Battles or something. But yeah, so people are just roasting woodwind instruments. Everyone clearing the spit valve and brass is probably worse than woodwind. Yeah, absolutely. I'm telling you, it's horrible. Every stoppage in play, you look back and they're just like, oh, this is just so disgusting, man. And the part of the carpets in that part of the band room are just like stained like forever. They gotta change this thing once a year. I swear, bro. It's horrible. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Thank you for all of your questions. We are going to wrap it. Oh, we got another $7. Oh, thank you for Peanut. Thank you. Says happy birthday. Appreciate you, Peanut. Yeah, just cheers. Thanks for coming through that event one time, you know. Appreciate you. Okay, let's wrap up here. I'm going to, just enjoy the rest of the day. But the 3 stars in the Gerald Henderson Award from this victory, I think it's pretty easy for me. First side is going to go to Scottie Barnes. He was so good. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal. Yeah, just dominant. 10 of 14 shooting from the field, 7 of 8 from the foul line. Excellent performance in front of friends and family. Second star, I'm going to give that to Mamu. I thought Mamu was actually better than CMB in this one, especially offensively. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists for Mamu. That's got to be a career high for Mamu. That's really exciting for him. 4 of 6 from the 3-point line. There were a couple moments where he would hit a 3 and then he would come back and hit a 3 right back. And I'm like, I love that. Like, you just got it right back for us. You know what I mean? So he played awesome all night. Was great in the second half as well. Made some good defensive plays as well. Mamu, bro. He's just finally one of these cheap free agent signings has finally worked out for us. We're only like 1 for 15, but that one is Mamu, and that we cherish that one. And then your third star is going to go to Collin Murray-Boyles. Apologies to Jameson Battle. If there were a Heat podcast, you'd be the Gerald Henderson Award winner. But yeah, like CMB was awesome. 11 points, 13 rebounds for his first career triple-double, 3 steals, a block, 5 of 9 shooting from the field, knocked down a 3 as well. For young Collin Murray-Boyles, RCMB, with the defense, the way he's stopping people, it's not really a good thing to say these days, to be honest. Although RCMP is not as bad as the States, but yeah, I don't know. Let's not talk about law enforcement on this show. It's not the right place for it. And then your Gerald Henderson Award winner, maybe Jaime Jaquez. Jaime kind of watching Jaime and made me miss RJ because I'm like, that's what RJ does. Like this guy's, he doesn't shoot as many threes as RJ, but like this guy's just always like getting downhill, pivoting, drawing fouls, making these weird little moves, and like we don't have as much drivers. I mean, I guess nowadays everyone's getting a bunch of threes up and stuff, but man, the driving from Jaime Jaquez was very impressive. So I mean, it's good. I mean, he's got to be like he's like in his third year. He feels like he's 29 already. Like, like just enjoy that. You know what I mean? So appreciate you guys. Yeah, hit the like on the way out. Shouts to Clayton. Appreciate you. I know you're always in here. Shouts to you for saying hit the like on the way out, guys. This guy's working on his birthday. Bye, Will. Hope you find my dad. I mean, my dad's at home, man. Shouts to my dad. Will's band comment got the chat in the frenzy. I didn't realize all you guys played band, man. Oh, let me know let me know next time. We'll talk more about this. Like what instruments did you play? What place did you guys finish in Kiwanis? Did you guys ever win Kiwanis? What were your favorite pieces that you played? Actually, I really enjoyed playing what did I play? Rhapsody in Blue by George Gershwin. That was very, very fun to play. We had a pretty strong oboe player, which really is like really rare because you really need one to play that track. I even weirdly enough love playing Pomp and Circumstance for like graduations and stuff. Like, it was like kind of fun. Sometimes you still hear Pomp and Circumstance once in a while, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember every single part of that song. So very easy tune to play, but pretty important for a band to do well, especially considering you're there for people who are graduating and not necessarily yourself. Yeah, Rhapsody in Blues is there. Yeah, I say exactly, guy. Come on, man. Shouts to American composers, man. Obligatory shout out to Amy Otterbird. Of course. Shouts to friend of the program, Amy. Haven't seen you since Vegas Summer League, but it was a great night when we were all just out in Vegas enjoying ourselves. Shouts to Amy. Yes, it did end up at 3 a.m. at what's that taco space? Oh, hold on. What's that taco place in Vegas? Oh my God. What am I forgetting on Las Vegas? For anybody going to Vegas, I mean, you guys probably already been to this place. It's not exactly. I'm not giving you a deep cut. Where am I giving you guys? Tacos El Gordo. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Tacos El Gordo. Yeah. Just at the edge of the strip, at the north end. 3 a.m. Tacos El Gordo. Alex eating his sixth lengua taco of the day. It just doesn't. You had to be there. It's one of those. You had to be there moments. Yeah, also the Christmas songs. Yeah, I love playing the Christmas songs. You know what I mean? The little Christmas medleys that they used to always make you play around the time of the Christmas concerts. Those were always pretty fun to play as well. Shit, what else did I play in high school, man? I'm starting to forget now. What was it? I'm thinking about Ride by Samuel Hazo, I think. Is that his name? These are some deep cuts, man. Yeah, Ride by Samuel Hazel. Wow, that's crazy. I still remember a little bit of that. Yeah, there was some pretty good ones, man. There's some pretty good ones. Yeah, I'd be more specific about the songs. I don't know if it gets more specific than Ride by Samuel Hazo. Also, learning how to play, small things. That's also the joy of like playing instruments is like if you have the ear for it, like are you able to like maybe sort of like figure out how a song is played? Because like small things, like obviously I love Pokemon as well. Pretty classic Pokemon tune is like the Pokemon Center tune. Everyone knows what that tune is, right? So it's like, oh yeah, just learn how to like figure out how to play that by ear, and then learning how to play that was pretty cool. So I don't know, there's a lot, man. I really got to bring it back. Band teachers are always weirdos or evil. Yeah, I mean, this is the same thing as English teachers. English teachers are always weirdos or evil. Like, but I was very blessed. I had some incredible band teachers back in my day. So, yeah, shouts to Mr. Davies, shouts to Mr. Van Zulen. I know you're enjoying retirement. I hope you're doing well. I forgot who the last guy was. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna lie. I love Mr. Van Zulen more than the last guy we had, so I kind of forgot who I had in grade 12. Yeah, also Mr. Stoico as well. I mean, if you are a John G. Aldhouse or a typical band orchestra, or if you played at Martin Grove like I did, like you know Mr. Stoico. Mr. Stoico is a legend, bro. Is there anybody in this chat that knows Mr. Stoico? That'd be a crazy world if people knew who that was. Shouts to Steel Pan. Yo, Steel Pan is one of the best things you ever hear in Toronto, bro. You walk around, you know what I mean? Like, I heard Steel Pan at a wedding once. It was super fire, man. You know what I mean? It's so clear, it rings out. It's great. Actually, the Raptors had one, maybe it was when they had the Caribbean Heritage. And actually, Brandon Ingram was in town for that one because it was Raptors versus Pelicans. Raptors won that game, by the way. It was a pretty good game, but Raptors won. OG put some good defense on Brandon in the fourth quarter. But yeah, like they played steel drums for the national anthem. That was actually really fire. Usually you usually don't stay for the anthem, or like it's like not what you come for. Especially because you go to the game, you're like, oh man, the anthem again. Like, what am I in high school? But like, no, man, it was actually it was it was great to actually just hear the Canadian anthem in steel pan. It actually made me stop and salute a little bit. All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for listening. I appreciate all of you guys for hanging out. Actually, so tomorrow morning at 11, me and Alex will be here. Alex has promised to come up with a rundown, so I'm just gonna show up and we'll chat some ball, but we'll talk some ball. But also, more importantly, and I mean this, but on Boxing Day, if you need some company on Boxing Day, lonely holidays, Christmas is over, presents are over, now you got to go back to your regular lives or whatever, and you're like, man, I'm bored. I need some more company. You know what we need, man? We need a banter pod. That's right. We got banter pod coming on Boxing Day. Send in your questions if you haven't already. Go follow the Hello and Welcome account on Instagram or email info@stevenlebron.com for your more elaborate questions. We'll be chilling and we'll be hanging out on the banter pod come Boxing Day. But otherwise, yeah, enjoy your holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrates. Yeah, good Raptors win tonight. Cheers.